Sakto, pero
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Dead Dare, a horror podcast.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dead Air, a horror podcast. Now, if you are not part of our Facebook group yet, please join that before you continue with this episode because, come on, just join. Just join us, okay? So what you can do there is you can put your favorite horror movies, trailers. We can talk about your favorite horror experiences. Anything horror related, you can put up on that group. And I swear that community will jump on it and it will become a discussion. Also, we have a Facebook page that you can like and subscribe to, like this podcast. And we also have an Instagram that you can follow at Dead Air Pod. Again, that's Dead Air Pod. And please feel free to message that account as much as you want because the person handling that account is really patient and will really talk to each and every one of you with anything that you want to talk about. And also check the link on this description for our affiliate link so that you can keep this podcast afloat because we love to do it. So I'm one of the hosts of this podcast and my name is Aaron. And the reason I'm here is because I love horror movies for the fun of it, for the thrill of it. I actually find it really fun to watch, especially in the movie house. I like the way it messes with my mind, but at the same time, I am not a film connoisseur like my other two hosts who know so much about shots and directors and he wanted it this way. Stuff like that. So that's the next two hosts will introduce themselves.
I'm Miguel. I love watching movies. Not so much horror kasi ako yung takutin. But lately I've been doing okay with horror. That's my pandemic arc.
Yeah. I'm Chris. I'm the third host. Ako yung super obsessed with horror. And that was my life arc.
Yes. So with us today, we have a lovely artist, songwriter, and singer, Huhsmile. That's one word, Huhsmile. Or Eunice, hello, welcome to our show.
Hi, hello.
Hi, Eunice.
Hi,
Hello,
Eunice.
everybody. It's nice to be here. I've actually been wanting to talk about scary things with people, and I don't think that's a good opening line.
No.
So it's so nice to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
And it's nice to find a tribe of people who will actually sit and listen and talk about scary things, no? Because a lot of people are like, okay, don't talk about that stuff with me. So yeah.
Even I appreciate the fun. Even if we do this at night and it's dark in my old apartment, I still appreciate our scary convos.
Perfect.
Miguel, parang may dumaan sa likod.
Shut up.
I'm so sorry. I
love
met you.
it.
I'm sorry.
I love it already. Okay.
I'm gonna turn on some lights.
Thank you for that, Eunice. That was so fun to watch.
You're very welcome. And also, I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be.
No, it's fine.
It's fine.
So, Eunice, what is your horror origin? If you are into horror, how did you get into it in the first place?
How should I? As a kid, the thing about being afraid of things is sometimes you learn to fear them. Na parang, if most people, are afraid of clowns, you're like, oh, I guess clowns are scary. But as a kid, I've always been fascinated with the things that my mother and my grandmother would tell me. And they don't really tell the scary stories in a way that it's creepy or anything. It's really more of a Filipino folklore type of thing, na a matter of fact kind of thing. Why is this doing that, Mom? And the explanation sounds so scientific for some reason that you just take things in stride. Kasi may duwende. Okay, sige, thank you for the info. I'll move on with that.
Okay.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
You write it in your notebook, may duwende kasi. March, ganyan. So, I feel like as a kid, I've always been fascinated with the Filipino heritage of just taking encantos in stride. And then I started getting ghosts to bug me as a kid.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa. I like this. Okay.
At first, it was just these are things that my mom tells me or my Lola tells me. And then it's not really something that you're scared of. It's just more of, oh, okay, it's an explanation for things. And then as a kid, I remember I fell asleep in the living room on the couch. And then, I was a kid, so your parents will take you to another room and you'll wake up in another room. And I woke up at my grandmother's bedroom, and it was a very small house, and that bedroom does not have windows. So I woke up, and then the first thing I hear in that bedroom while I was all alone was, "Psst." You have to understand, I was a very polite child, and I didn't think anything of it. So I woke up, I hear, "Psst," and I say, "Po."
Well, tamang sagot naman. I mean,
And the thing went, "Psst, psst." And then I realized, walang tao.
Oh.
It's very dark. Where is that coming from? After the third, psst, I counted how many steps it would take for me to get from the bed to the door. And then I bolted. I was just like,
Man.
and then I came out, and then my lola was there, my titas were there, and I was like, I was crying. I was like a kid, so I was like, may sumisit sa loob ng kwarto. And taken in stride, my lola just said, baka kapitbahay lang yun.
Oh.
There's no windows in that room. What are you talking about? But yeah, and like right now, it's not a scary story to me. I feel like it's a really good like opening line of like, hey, you want to hear something scary? It's not something that scares me. It's really at this point just a fascination na parang, oh, there are things that exist that are fun to talk about, and you can't tell me otherwise. And I think that's like my horror story origin, like as a person, why I'm just so fascinated with scary things. Yeah.
Do scary things still happen to you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Oh.
Do you want another one?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Does Miguel? Yeah, look at Miguel. The lights are so bright behind him. I can see the bike and the aircon. Lovely, lovely.
Kaya mo pa ba? Miguel?
Yeah, there's a lamp
go
pa.
for it,
Okay. I live in a condo. And like pre-COVID, I had to go to work. So I would get up early in the morning, and then I would go out of the condo. I got out of the unit, and then may kasunod ako na maintenance person. I knew he was maintenance because he had like the maintenance person uniform. But the thing is, he was walking a little bit further than I am. So I was, we were just like tag-tailing each other palabas tong hallway. And then he took a left to the elevator area. And there's only one elevator area. So as a nice person, I prepared myself to say good morning. Because I was like, oh, he took a left and I have to take a left. So when I take a left, I have to say good morning, kuya. Because I'm not a piece of shit. Yeah. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse here, but yes.
You are.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Okay.
been cursing kanina pa. It's cool. Go lang.
So he took a left, and I was like, okay, time to say good morning. And I take a left, and wala na si kuya.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
You know where he showed up?
Where'd he show up?
Behind Miguel.
Dad.
Saan niya nakuha yung uniform?
I
Atong mga
know.
multo masyadong maabilidad eh.
Maabilidad.
No, but sometimes I think it's just your brain filling in the gaps, maybe.
Yeah. No.
Sure.
Galing. Yeah, that's true.
Ayun.
I love it.
Alright.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. So,
Perfect way to start.
yes, and I actually love the movie that you chose as well. Can you talk about why you chose this film?
I like scary things, but adult things are a different level in like my headspace. Because it's one thing to be afraid, and then it's another thing to be grossed out. It's another thing to be, physically afraid for your survival because it's gore or like a lot of blood. So I feel like it's a different category in my head. Like, do I want to be scared, or am I watching an adult movie?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I chose Coraline. Yeah.
Okay. Is this a movie that you particularly enjoyed? Because if you picked Coraline, technically it's in the realm of like Nightmare Before Christmas, right? So why Coraline in particular?
I would say the premise of Coraline is a bit closer to like the things that scare you as a kid. Nightmare Before Christmas is a bit more of a fantasy thing. Like, oh, it's a Halloween town with Halloween characters. Paranorman is a bit too American. It really deals with the neighborhood, the people in that neighborhood.
Paranorman.
Paranorman was good
Made
though.
me cry.
Oh.
Poor dog. Anyway.
And like Paranorman also was really more about zombies, which isn't really a scary thing. It's at this point, zombie is just action. Like in 2022, if you have something zombie, it's usually more of an action film rather than a horror film.
Yeah.
Coraline, I think I latched on to Coraline because it really kind of picked apart the things that scared you as a kid without being gruesome or like visually gruesome about it. I'm very fascinated with how your psyche tells you that you're supposed to be afraid of something without you knowing that it's something you're supposed to be afraid of. So things like your parents abandoning you is okay. Why are you afraid of that? Because, you know, as a kid, as a person growing up, you're like, oh, because I don't know how to survive without them, which is, you know, not a fear that you'll have when you're like in your 30s, because you have money, you have a bank account. But like as a kid, that's a different kind of vulnerability.
Wait, we're supposed to have money when we hit 30?
Couldn't alam.
I've heard.
Sabi nila.
Okay.
Sino ba sila? Stop it.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. What else? Like things like things. Well, things like things. All right. I find it fascinating that we're also afraid of when things pretend to be our friends. Like they steal their faces, they steal their voices. I remember there was this one scary Japanese ghost story back then wherein the ghost would knock on your door and then pretend to have the voice of someone from your family so that you will open it. And like, why is that so creepy? Like as a human being, like why is that so creepy to me? And I thought Coraline really did a good job in playing with those very specific childish fears. Yeah.
Did you read the book as well?
I did not.
Interesting. Okay. All right. It's actually it's very by the book. I read the book, and the thing that I liked about the movie was it really stretched out things that the book couldn't. Because if you look at the book, it's very thin. It's a children's book, right? And then in the movie, there were all these. When it plays the music, for example, in the books, you're just reading the lyrics. This one, they put music to the lyrics, and then the circus rats, you got to see a full animated choreography. So these were things that I actually personally enjoyed having read the book. So are there any favorite moments of yours that stood out in Coraline?
Actually, yeah, that was a really good point, Erin. Like Coraline being a children's book, I think just made it shine in animation also. Like, what would my favorite part be? I would say my favorite parts of Coraline are the ones wherein the other mother is trying to entice her to the other side of the realm. Yeah. Wherein she gets prepared all of the delicious food and then she gets given all of the clothes that she wants. Mango milkshake?
Turkish delight. Wrong.
Yeah.
Gosh, I loved it. Like animation wise, it looked so bright and so enticing. And then when I was watching it as a kid, I saw it when I was maybe like 15. Not really a kid anymore, but when I was watching it, even at the time, I was like, "Oh, this looks nice." And because I didn't read the book, I had no idea what was coming. I was just like, I would stay with this mom. Yeah, she would buy me all of the things that I want. So I thought that was like a really good twist if you were like just a watcher and you had no context of what happens. It kind of like flips you over your head and makes you regret the decision of like actually trusting the other mother. So
yeah.
So
and I
about
noticed,
sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
No, I was going to say, because you talked about it being the animation being so nice. They even did a part that I personally noticed. And it was when she went back to the real world after coming back from this other place.
Yeah.
And she was very colorful. She was the only colorful one, and everyone is sort of gray.
Duller.
And I was like, wait, may color grading tong animation. Ganda. Wala lang. That's the
Look at this non-film person.
Yeah,
Noticing that.
Look at this non-film geek.
I learn. I'm a sponge.
So Aaron read the book, watched the movie. Was this your first time watching the movie, Aaron?
No, I've seen it before.
Miguel,
First time.
did you read the book?
No. So this is my first encounter with this story, this material in general.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Perfect segue. Miguel, why don't you tell us what it's about?
This is easy. I watched this for real right before our pod.
Okay.
So there's a girl named Coraline. Lives with her parents in this old house that they're renting because the parents, for some reason, are doing a catalog on plants. And then, Coraline's left to fend for herself, like all, like, what do you call them? Single childs, I guess?
Only child.
Only child, yeah. So she had to fend for herself. And apparently she found herself going through this little cupboard or this little hole in the wall. And she goes into this alternate world where she meets who she thinks are her parents, except they have buttons for eyes. Sorry. She also has a stalker, this like who becomes her friend later on, spoiler alert. And parang that kid gives her this doll that looks exactly like kind of looks like her. And it's that doll that kind of leads her to the alternate world. Apparently, parang the people or the beings in the other world, they use dolls to lure people over to the other side. So, she goes between both worlds, and then parang in the other side, there are her parents nga, with the other parents, the other mom, the other dad with buttons for eyes, and they kind of lure her to stay. And then turns out the mom's this evil demon, I guess. And then there are other trapped spirits there. And there's this whole story about over the years, there are like a bunch, like 3 kids from different times in history, and the grandma of her stalker / friend is there. Ang maganda, the cat is the one that only can traverse both worlds, and parang isa lang siya. The cat who becomes her ally it talks in that alternate world, but it's a normal cat in the real world here. So there's a lot of stuff going on. It's like a burlesque show. It's not a burlesque show. There's a show.
It is kind of.
It is. And then there's and there's also like a lot of rats and mice, which I'm not keen on. That's the real horror in this movie. And then what else happens? And then she finds a way to do so to defeat the evil mom, parang she has to hold her accountable, like trick her into like this test wherein if she is able to solve it, she gets away. So she does. Little by little, she's helped by other people in the other trapped beings, and she's able to outsmart her other mom. She makes it back to this world, and then parang her parents, made it back. Pati pala yung parents na kidnap nung other world, other mom. Anyway, she makes it back, and then parang may epilogue pa wherein the hand of the other mom still chases after them. Then she and her stalker, now ally friend, and they kind of trap it and dump it into a well. Medyo horror to. If this was a real movie with, realistic, medyo scary to. But because ang ganda ng animation, parang you can't look away. Parang, this is really well. In fact, sa animation, it's like stop. It's not technically, it's stop motion, diba? Sobrang galing. I enjoyed it a lot.
So, Eunice, how would you grade Miguel's summary?
I would give it an 8 out of 10.
I'll take it.
Not bad.
Lovely.
I'll take it. I'm a super.
You got an 8 out of 10 and a thumbs up. That's
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Not bad. So 2 things for this movie. So I've seen this book. Okay, so I saw when it came out, and I also read the book. It was really nice. I saw this again. When did it come out? It was more than 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I've seen it. 2 things that stood out for me immediately were, this is a lot darker than I remembered it. Right? It's really dark. Like, it's super dark.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty creepy. It's not for kids at all. It's really not for kids. Secondly, it could be for kids if you want your kids to fall in love with horror later on.
Yeah.
But this wouldn't be something that you would like give, 6-year-olds or whatever. But secondly, I didn't realize it was Terry Hatcher, who's the other mom. Oh my God, I love Terry Hatcher. Everyone remembers Terry Hatcher from Desperate Housewives.
No, Superman.
I remember her as Lois. Superman.
Lois Lane. Yeah.
She's incredible. And I forgot that it was her, and she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I super loved it watching the second time around. But it's a lot darker than I remember. Were you surprised, Miguel, at how dark it was?
Well, I had no reference coming in. Alam ko lang na we're a horror pod, and a lot of stuff we watch are dark naman talaga. So, pero I think sa simula pa lang, the opening credits pa lang, wonder like, it's like the scene where they're cutting up the doll and making the doll. Parang it kind of gives you parang a foreshadowing. It's like, oh, this is not super for kids. Like, and this is a bit horrifying also. Nakatakot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the first part that actually really creeped me out. Because in the book, it was the buttons for eyes. That was already
Is
like,
that?
okay,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
this? But in the cartoon, parang you're just like, oh, that's a little weird. Oh, but the doll had eyes. And then there was one part that I was just like, oh, I think that when she comes back and the mother is asleep and the dad's like, oh, she's mother's not, ano yan? Mother
But
won't
it's
be
not
happy. Yeah, she's not happy. I was like, oh, damn. And then his face, he made a long face there. That's the one.
Oh yeah, the long
Got
face.
mad
Yeah.
because he made a long face. I was like, well, okay, that's...
Maganda yung pagka-slow reveal na the other mom is the evil person eh. Like, she'd she's super sweet to the kid, but she'll turn around and tell the guy, you should be smiling. Parang mga ganyang klaseng. Like you can see her controlling. She can control the environment.
So creepy. I love it.
Yeah,
Watching
and
it
the
again,
animation is freaking incredible.
It is.
Who's the designer? He's a Japanese dude. He designed the whole
Let's
look of Coraline, which is, I mean, it's kind of. I looked at the illustrations in the book. It has the general look, no, but it's its own thing, talaga, as a stop motion thing. Super. The art direction's incredible. Like, and then I think I don't watch a lot of stop motion. So when I do see it and it's done so incredibly well, I'm so impressed. Like with the texture of using cloth and then like the buttons and it's so good. It's just really beautiful to look at. No?
Yeah, so it's the Japanese illustrator Tadahiro Uesugi. He was the visual designer for this. And I was saying, because a lot of the horror movies, I was telling myself earlier today that usually when we watch horror movies, I'm very ADD. Like I'm looking at my phone. But this movie, it made it feel bastos to not be watching the animation because of the hard, you know what I mean? Like every single shot, stop motion. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're an illustrator, but also, Eunice.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm sure this was something else for you entirely as an illustrator.
Actually, I think Coraline was my first stop motion movie that I've seen as a kid.
Sure.
And then after I saw the movie, I was like, wait, I need more of this. So I looked up the studio, animation studios, and then I checked all of their other works. And at the time, they didn't really have a lot of releases, but in the coming years, they started releasing Paranorman, and then I forgot the other one with the dog, Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie.
Yeah, Frankenweenie was also theirs. And then they had...
I was super confused. I meant Frankenweenie. I didn't mean Paranorman earlier. When I said I cried at Frankenweenie. But anyway, yes.
But yeah, I think it was a really good insight into, this is an actual art form, right? And as a kid, I was like, it is? People make money from this? That's so cool. So on the one hand, it scared me. And then on the other hand, it fascinated me. And I think that's why it's one of my favorite horror movies. It's actually one of the movies I play on loop during Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Because it scares you. It doesn't shoo you away. It's a fear that's not something that you want to avoid. It's a good kind of fear, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You dabble in animation, right?
Yes, but I'm not very good. Okay.
That's hard.
We did when I was still in MCA, you did a kind of like an explainer on you, and it was animated. Then you illustrated it yourself, right? I thought that was super cool.
Thank you. I was an art student, and now I have graduated. I do illustration, and I dabble in animation, but I'm I've never really worked at animation studios in the Philippines. I feel like it's a very different level of what they're asking for people and then what I can give. So at the time I was just like, let's not. So yeah.
Is it something you do in your free time? Do you still sketch and do
yeah, you guys everyone should follow her on Twitter. She posts a lot of stuff. It's really fun.
Okay.
Gosh. Okay. Yes.
I love Twitter.
I draw. Most of the time I just draw silly comics that Antoinette has seen, and I'm so sorry, Antoinette. I draw comics on Facebook. Nothing really with a solid storyline. It's just really how I'm feeling for the day, or if I'm frustrated at things, I do a small comic about it. back then when I was in college and had more free time, I would do informative comics like on contraceptives, RH Bill, things that I know the Filipino masses should know about, but it's just easier to accept it in comic form because it's, reading long things, not really our thing. Comics, yeah, definitely.
Pictures with words.
Mm-hmm. So if you actually look up the username Huhsmile on Google, it's just like a bunch of comics that I'm so sorry about again. Yeah.
Do you plan on like collecting everything?
Collecting what?
Your stuff into some sort of printed edition or something. They're all kind of slice of life, right?
Yeah, they are. Maybe when there's no COVID and people can sell things in real life without worrying about shipping, I suppose. I do sell stickers. Oh, I used to sell stickers at conventions. I have a sticker that's like an icon of coffee and it says +10 strength.
I love it.
Yeah. And then I have one that's like shawarma and then it says +15 will to live because
all my favorite things.
But not black coffee, right, Miguel?
Nope.
Why not?
Miguel was almost canceled on Twitter because he started mocking people who drink black coffee.
I still super medyo mali yung word na mocking eh. I just aired an opinion and then people latched onto it for some reason. And people got mad. I didn't want people to get mad, but people got so mad.
There was that time during the beginning of the pandemic that some guy was canceled every week. Right? Like
So
we went through so many people and then like
Basta just don't be that guy.
Miguel today.
Yeah. Just don't be that guy for the day on Twitter. Yeah. And then all I said are people who drink. I just asked, do people who drink black coffee, are they happy? Tapos parang dami nagalit. And then in my mind, parang, well, this kind of answers my questions, you assholes. Anyway, you digress.
Ako naman, I'm looking for like, did Neil Gaiman work closely with them on this? Because parang I don't really see.
Parang no, kasi even the character of the stalker friend, parang he's not in the book eh. That's what I remember.
I don't remember. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So they parang the filmmaker, the director who also wrote this and adapted this for his film, parang he needed somebody na Coraline could talk to, like somebody her age. So she gave him the stalker kid. I keep calling him the stalker kid, but he's actually a really good friend. Parang and helps
YB
in the end. Oh yeah. YB. It stands for something about like YBU or something.
Why were you
born?
Why born?
Yeah.
Tama.
Damn.
Yeah. So see, the director is Henry Selick. He did a bunch of movies that everyone thought were directed by Tim Burton.
Oh God.
That makes sense.
What a slam.
Is it?
Ouch.
No, I'm just saying. Like,
I mean,
everyone
I'm so
thought
glad.
Nightmare Before Christmas was directed by Tim Burton. Everyone did. And
I'm so glad he doesn't listen to our pod. Grabe naman.
No, that's not a knock on him. It's just a knock on people who don't do the research.
Okay.
Yeah. He's incredible. He's so good. James and the Giant Peach and this one. And apparently he has a new one with Jordan Peele that's coming out soon. So that's yeah, that should be fun.
So he does primarily horror then. I mean, this is
creepy stuff.
Creepy stuff.
Like creepy stuff. Yeah, like beautifully designed creepy stuff.
See, Eunice, they know these directors. Like,
yeah, they're our friends.
Some of them.
There are
a few are on our speed dial.
Yeah.
Oh, Jordan.
George.
J Peel.
It's in the parts like this that I kind of get lost. But anyway, so
She just zones out. These fucking guys. I hate them.
When we talk about symbolism and foreshadowing.
Hey,
anyway, yeah.
Eunice was going really deep dive into like the real horror of the.
Oh my!
No, I was like, yeah, it's parents abandoning you. That's the horror. It's like this, loss of trust when it's like someone with a kind face or it's not him. See. So we also delved it. I mean, it's the truth, no? I mean, that's really what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
This was go ahead, Miguel.
No, I was just saying, if I were a child these would be the exact things that would freak me out. Getting lost.
Exactly.
And, parang not fine. Like, it's happened to all of us, diba, where we were lost for a while and we thought we'd be gone forever. like in the mall, and then you lose your
I
mom.
thought you meant metaphorically.
No.
It's happened to all of us. We were lost and then we found ourselves in the end.
I'm right naman, diba, to assume na at one point in our childhoods, we were lost physically. Like, oh no, where's mom? Or like, and then one of the first times we actually feel fear.
And it's terrifying. Yeah. So it's right, no? But it's really playing on that. But for me, like what I realized, what everyone should have realized immediately, it's really a modern telling of of Alice in Wonderland.
She goes to a rabbit
super
hole, sort of
creepy. Yeah, rabbit hole, new world. She's got a cat that guides her. There's an evil woman who's the villain at the end.
Eunice and I seem to be disagreeing here.
No.
I disagree.
Okay, go.
You don't see it?
Disagree with
Just
Chris.
because, okay. Here, Chris.
Yes.
Every anime. Come closer.
No. Okay. Let's hear it.
Ikaw ang cancelled ngayon.
Is every anime isekai a modern retelling of Alice in Wonderland?
I have no idea. I'm not educated enough in that. And why are you laughing? It's the truth. It's just a blind spot for me.
I know. It's just like with one question, she dismantled your whole argument. It's so good.
The thing is, like, character gets placed in a different world. That I like. Sure, Alice in Wonderland is the pioneer, but sometimes I don't think authors write based on other things. Sometimes it's just a coincidence. It's like, the curtains are blue.
Yeah. I totally 100% agree with that. Sometimes it's just like coincidence. I mean, you pick up on these things that, it's everything that that you've learned, and then it just finds its way into what you create. But okay. Sorry. I'm getting producer notes, and my producer is telling me to shut up and let Eunice finish. So I'll be quiet.
So Eunice, we were saying.
Yes.
Go on,
Aaron.
No. You were the one speaking.
Yes. So is every anime isekai a rendition of Alice in Wonderland?
I literally didn't understand what you said.
It's a rhetorical question.
Yeah. Obviously,
Do you not watch anime, Chris?
No, I don't. I'm telling you, this is my blind spot. It's a blind spot.
Ito yung blind spot. Damn. School us.
Okay.
Please. Yes.
What are the isekais right now? There's
wait, what does isekai mean?
Isekai means other world. So this is an anime trope wherein a character gets teleported to another world. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. And like some of them have very interesting developments. Like they get transported into another world like as a slime, but like with 21st century brain, so they know how the game works, and so they level up fast enough. Sometimes they get transported into another world like as a baby, but with 21st century brain, so they're like, okay, I'm an infant, how do I game this, how do I make sure everything works for me, things like that. So I don't know, Alice in Wonderland, taking a person into another world, but the moral isn't the same, and it doesn't play with the characters similarly. I think Alice in Wonderland was like a trip. It's just like, let's bring this character around and let them meet the wacky characters. I'm not even sure if it has a moral.
And there was no threat that she couldn't leave. Right? Like the threat was, you're gonna die because this queen hates you. But it's not you can't leave this world, we want you here. It's not like that with Alice.
It's like every corner that she turns to, it's like, oh, this is weird. Oh, that's weird too. Oh, the flowers are talking. Yeah. But like with Coraline, sorry, go ahead, Miguel.
No, I was just going to say, so Alice in Wonderland, which I haven't actually read and I've seen parts. I'm just familiar with. Parang more of a, when you say it's a trip, you didn't mean a literal trip, no? Like, it was like...
Yeah.
It was like a psychedelic trip, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right, carry on.
Psychedelic trip and trip as a visit.
It
was a visit. Yes.
To another world.
Yes.
In her mind. Or wherever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's unimportant. Go ahead. Eunice, sorry. Galing.
I have nothing else to say. Just that Coraline was like, it was very deliberate that she was brought there.
It was a manipulative tactic. As opposed to
there was a plot. And Alice in Wonderland, she's like, oh, hello, I followed the rabbit. Yeah.
I meet weird people, but wala lang, they're all here.
But I do see the similarities, Chris. See? Friends na tayo ulit, Chris.
Oh, yeah, no. I was building my case because I just Googled Alice in Wonderland and Coraline, guys. For all you doubters out there, yeah, just type that in. Coraline and Alice in Wonderland.
No, but
I'm not crazy, guys.
There are similarities.
I'm
like
not.
She followed a rat to the door versus following a white rabbit. So it's like, a rat because it's like a bad thing that she's following.
I rest my case.
There's even a song, is this? What is this? It's like a YouTube video.
It's a rap battle between Coraline and Alice.
Yeah.
God.
No, pero tama naman na. Yeah, I was gonna agree with. I was gonna agree with Eunice na parang it's such a big general trope na.
Yeah, of course.
You can't identify just one one story and then say they're the same. Parang it's this whole big thing that a lot of adventures and a lot of isekaya. That's not it. Isekai. Parang it's part of that whole genre.
Yeah, let's all agree with Eunice and then
I'm super
shit on Chris and his idea.
Well, I want you guys to know that The Matrix is also based on Alice in Wonderland. So, you know.
Obvious naman yun eh.
How is that more obvious than this?
Like parang wasn't there a character in The Matrix na may rabbit, literally like a rabbit?
Yes.
And then they literally went
Tattoo
through
of a rabbit.
They literally went through the mirror and everything. Anyway.
Whatever, we agree with you.
We're with Eunice on this.
But I am interested to see what your Google search has brought, what information it has brought.
Please tell us, Chris.
Yes, please
No.
tell us.
I want you guys to discover for yourself. I'm not going to define myself. I'm good.
Case.
My case is the Google search. That's my case.
Can I just say, I found it funny that was the choice of voice for the cat. Because the whole time it's not talking. I was like, oh, cutie. Baka mamaya, hi, I'm a cat. Then he's like a wise old voice. I was like, oh, this is... And then at the end, diba, he makes pa cute like that. And I'm like, oh, but I know your voice. It's this wise old man. It's just a weird choice for me. But I mean, it works. It works. Effective.
It's a lot like how you would feel when you start watching Adventure Time and you see Jake. And it's like, hey, dude. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting choice of voice for this cartoon character.
Hey, dude. And then everyone else, like the kid.
Maybe that was a choice of the voice for the cat just to take him seriously.
So that when he gives advice, it's actually legit.
Because he's the only one who actually understands what's happening.
That's true.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is the moral of the story?
The moral of the story is the grass is never greener.
Interesting.
That's
you might think the real world is really dull, but everything else is an illusion.
It's dull, but it's real.
Yeah, like Alice in Wonderland.
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a moral.
I don't know.
Well, for me, it's not so much a moral, but it's like, how the premise is that this is a child's worst fears, or like a young person's worst fears, being lost and being separated from her parents. Pero parang it's also the kid or the hero who kind of solves everything for herself. Let me figure that out.
I think you need to do a little more Googling, Miguel.
Parang at no point did we feel the child wasn't competent enough to solve her own situation. Alam mo yan? Parang galing naman niya. Parang even at the end where she figured out that she had to trick the other mom, she did it so well. Parang she was always brave. She was always smart. Parang in other words, parang hindi rin siya nag-arc. Parang she was always like a hero.
Oh, so you're saying that C. Coraline didn't have character growth. That's what you're saying.
Well, because she was already amazing.
She was already okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
What do you think the moral is?
You for asking, Aaron.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I was listening to both Chris and Miguel. Just like I was like, okay, there's similarities in that. Like I feel like piggybacking. Well, corporate
To piggyback.
Circling back to this.
But like I maybe Coraline's arc isn't with herself because like Miguel said, she's already cool. I think her arc really more was on her relationship with her parents because in the beginning of the story we noticed that that's the main issue that she has. It's not like they don't have money or it's not like they're she's not being giving like attention. She's given attention, just not a lot because her parents are busy. And I guess that's what the other mother played on, her straining relationship with her parents. And that's what she enticed her with. Like the food and the nice things, sure, superficial stuff. But at the end of it, what Coraline really wanted was parents who were paying attention to her.
Yeah.
Damn.
I
And
agree.
then she ended
Totally.
up being grateful for what she had at the end instead of wanting something else.
I was gonna make another comparison, but now I'm so nervous.
No, go ahead.
Go.
I mean, the food scene, that's totally an obvious reference to Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, right? Am I right? Miguel, you literally said that, Kirina.
No, but that's also
No, it is. The witch
But isn't-
tempted Edmund with the
with
Turkish delight.
But I'm
Yeah,
saying
and to make him stay.
Sure, I'm sure they all connect. But I guess
Oh no, Eunice is gonna say something. Oh God.
I'm not,
We
it's
have
not, it's not
we have
like
a
a
point.
disconnect.
But if
It's
there's
more
one way to trick a kid, it's always through food, diba? Parang yun.
Pan's Labyrinth. There was a food
Yes.
scene in Pan's
Same,
Labyrinth
same.
also. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is also tricking a kid.
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh.
No, I mean that's why your parents say never accept food from strangers. Like, parang this is the best way to get you dead. This is the best way to poison yourself as a child.
Yeah, but
or-
these
or-
were her parents.
Yeah. Or
Not
to be lured,
strangers.
or to be tricked. No, but yeah, that's true.
Diba? Hirap nun.
Yeah.
If your mom suddenly had like she had a mole but it was a button, you wouldn't
Yeah.
take that. Diba? It'd be like, oh, cool, you have a new. Oh, you're giving me food. Thanks, mom. That's how I'd feel. I'd be like, oh, ma, you have a little. Oh, thank you for the Magnum. Thank you. Like,
Magnum. So specific. Okay, so wait. I wanna kind of move the conversation to what I think is very important about the choice of Coraline, no? Because like a lot of people sometimes when we get people to guest, they're always like we talk about your definition of horror, and then some will say, "Is Coraline horror?" Because for me, it absolutely 100% is. In fact, we had this discussion with Carlo Ledesma talking about what's the perfect gateway horror film for children. And then my answer was Jaws. Remember, this is actually a perfect gateway movie to horror. What do you guys think about it?
this one, yeah. I mean, also because it is based on a children's book, so yeah. And the fact that children will be able to relate to it because of these struggles, nga, like an only child would want attention. So yeah, I think it would be a good. And I don't think it's one of those movies that'll keep a child up at night because there's a good resolution at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's just a theory. I have not been a child in very long.
I'm agreeing. If this movie will let me sleep at night, a child will sleep at night. Kung kaya ko, kaya ng bata.
Is
What do
this
you
something
think,
that would have
Amy?
scared you? Yeah.
It did not let me sleep at night. I actually went to like no, because we had like weird closets, so I had to
Shit.
double check if like may something sa likod. I checked because I'm a responsible ate, and my siblings are also creeped out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a good thing that it didn't let me sleep at night because that means it succeeded in what it tried to do, which is scare me.
Can I
Which
segue?
parts?
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
go.
No, I think it's more important that we ask her the question than I tell my stupid story.
Oh no, I was just going to ask which part specifically scared you the most. That was the one that made you not able to sleep.
I would say the hand. It's a spider thing, isn't it?
Yes,
Like the fear of like weird hand things. And the fact that it came back out of the well, I was like, oh, I guess the story's not done yet.
Yeah, no. I looked at the timestamp because when they said, no, she's still gonna find the key, I was like, wait a minute. This is near the end na. Ano to? There's another story. I forgot about this.
Horror trope.
Yeah, diba? Same.
Super
Same
horror
horror trope. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know that
literal
was
hand bursting out.
Carrie.
Wait, I'm gonna make kwento my horror from the other night.
Okay,
now.
we all want to
Yes.
hear this.
Yeah, parang, so this has nothing to do with the movie, but I had a horror experience the other night.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of has something to do with things that make noise at night or things that go bump at night. So I was like midnight na, I was like in bed, nakapatay na ilaw. I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment, Eunice. It's an old one, as you can see. And it's dark, it's like, and then I heard that noise and I'm like, holy shit, parang, is this a magnanakaw or is this a rat? And to be honest, I didn't know what I preferred. Parang ganun. So I totally got up. I didn't turn on the lights. I have crutches in my room. Don't ask me why I have crutches. I grabbed one and I sat still for 10 minutes. Kasi it was like a kalampag, tapos wala na. So I was trying to hear for footsteps. Kasi kung footsteps taot, parang magnanakaw to. Pero it was just one noise. Oh my God, it's an animal. And I'm like, I don't really know. I really literally froze. And then maybe after 10 minutes and my heart rate went down, parang my room connects to my own bathroom. I don't have to go out of my room. And I go, I'm gonna just sleep and figure this out tomorrow morning. But I kept the crutches near my bed so when I woke up in the morning, sure enough, it was the most horror. Sorry, this is true horror for me when there's a rat involved. I have a rat trap in the kitchen because I have had a little mice problem, and it was across the kitchen na. In other words, some mouse or rat got caught, pulled it to the other side, made all that noise at night, then got away. Wala, and I was so frozen for the whole morning na I couldn't go to my own kitchen. Na parang I had to call the maintenance person of the village to come and check. And then, I'm sorry, parang Kuya Sunny, I'm so sorry. Takot lang talaga sa daga. Pakicheck lang kung may laman yung trap. Sir, wala ho. Pwedeng ibalik dun sa kanto. And then, when he left at 11 a.m., that's when I made myself coffee. Yun lang.
Wow.
TV, feel free to edit this whole story out.
Wait,
No.
I have a
Start
go.
the whole
There's a
episode with that story.
segue.
Go ahead, Eunice.
I cannot badmouth mice or rats.
Why?
They're too smart. They're too
Oh yeah,
smart.
he's super
I was-
smart. That's why they're
I was
scary.
a,
Yeah, go
yes,
ahead.
they're very scary. I was a
Yeah.
kid. My brother and my little brother and I used to share a bed. So he would sleep on the left side, I would sleep on the right side. And that's
Okay.
like our spots na talaga.
Okay.
And then we had a mouse problem in the house. Wherein at night, similar to you, we would hear like mice like coming in and out of like the shelves and stuff.
The real horror. Yes.
And my brother, 3 years younger, he was trying to be macho. He was like, "Dogyong, nakita ko ma. Ako bahala." He was trying to be macho. He was really bad mouthing the mice.
Yeah.
We went to school and then we went back.
Oh shit.
And then my mother was like, "Tignan niyo yung kama niyo." And
Oh,
then she
no.
unearthed the bed.
Yeah.
My side was completely clean,
Oh,
My
they
brother's
knew.
side. full of rat poop.
Yes. They know. They're so smart. They're so
You're
smart.
so smart.
I had a friend, she trapped the mouse in a shoebox and then turned off the lights to go back to sleep. Then she heard a thumping noise, like a little. She turned on the light. No joke, the mouse was jumping on the box and taunting her.
Taunting. Grabe yung taunting.
Oh, yung nakatingin sa kanya, it's parang jumping lang like, I'm alive, you didn't get me, I escaped. Ay, nako. I have so much respect. You know when they say you have to respect your enemy talaga. And that's how much respect I have for mice. But I really hate them. Like parang, why did
I hate
God create them? Like when COVID happened, why did it happen to the rodents?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
And it's true because I lived in New York where rats are like
shit.
wala, parang
Yeah.
part of the
Where
barkada.
Where they eat pizza in Subway.
It's like
Diba?
wildlife. Yeah.
And they're kapal. They'll go near you.
Soup.
Like,
Yes.
they're kapal, dude. They're so
Like
kapal.
they're like dogs. You're like, hey, what's up? Anyway, just about the movie naman, Coraline, may rats din naman dito.
Yeah.
Pero
circle back.
Nakainis kasi medyo cute pa yung isang set. Yung in the real world, cute pa yung rodents there. They're like those long-tailed jumping mice. And I'm like, even I in real life would be like, holy fuck, but oh cute. Ganun. Pero, and then in the other world, they're like fucking rats talaga, diba? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
They're mice, but then when you bite them, they get big and then they're actually
The worst.
They're mice in disguise.
Ay, nako, ayoko na. Anyway, thank you guys for indulging in my
your little mouse
rat problems. Yeah, sorry.
So I think we're at a point where we can actually already talk about like our last thoughts on the movies.
Okay.
On the movie. So I'll go first. I enjoyed seeing this again, and what I like about this podcast is you get to watch things that you never think you'll watch again. Like I didn't think I'd watch Coraline more than once, right? But I appreciated it a lot, and the copy that I rented was so clear. The rented copy, so the animation
the one
was
I paid
amazing.
for my copy was really great too.
Yeah. So I really did appreciate the animation, and according to our chat group, this was supposed to be a live action movie, and I don't know if it would have had the same effect.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it the way it was made.
I'll go next. Parang it was really super nice nga, the animation. Like even I couldn't know, despite knowing na this is a horror film, even if it's animated, in fact, the fact that it had rats and mice, parang I still couldn't peel away. Like this is a great watch. And then siguro parang I don't know if I'm just old, but parang I don't necessarily relate to the fears of the kid, but I kind of remember what it was like to be that kid and also be left alone and have your own things to like you had to, amuse yourself and then find yourselves in scary situations.
Okay, I'll go next. What I really loved about this movie is it is nothing like Alice in Wonderland. That's really my key takeaway. That's my key takeaway. No, super enjoyed it. I'm so my original answer to what's your gateway horror movie for kids, it used to be Jaws. I'm changing it to Coraline because of this episode. That's my takeaway.
Amazing.
All right. Thanks. Do you have any last words about this movie, Eunice?
It's a good movie. Show it to your kids and show it to your mga pamangkins if you want them to behave. Yeah.
Love it.
And don't accept food from strangers, guys. Even if they look like your parents with button eyes.
Yeah, that's the moral. That's the main moral of the story. So Eunice, do you have...
One second. Can I just jump in? Because I'm super curious. We didn't get to ask earlier. Because Eunice, you said you do like horror movies. I'm just curious to like what are some of your newer ones that you like? I'm just
the
curious.
newer ones. Oh my gosh, I really like the movie series, the one where it's just what's their name, the Annabelle people.
Oh, that's Miguel's favorite. Yeah.
No.
That's Miguel's absolute favorite.
Annabelle people.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm so glad you didn't pick that for tonight.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm
There. All right. So before we go, Eunice, is there anything that you want to promote so that our listeners can check it out?
Okay. Hello, everybody. If you're listening to this podcast and you're interested in what I do and my art and my music, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Maybe not the Twitter. It's too makalat. But yeah.
I'm gonna go on Twitter. All right.
At Huhsmile, and I make comics and I write songs. And I've been releasing songs since the pandemic started. So if you guys are interested in listening to silly little pop songs, then go give me a listen. That's it. Thank you.
All right. You guys heard that. So follow Huhsmile on Facebook and not Twitter, and subscribe to her music. There you go. And remember that you need to check out the description of this episode because our affiliate links are there. And please join our Facebook group, the Dead Air, a horror fan page, so that you can discuss your favorite shows and your favorite movies over there. And we also have a Facebook page that you can like, Dead Air, a horror podcast. And we have an Instagram that you can follow at Dead Air Pod, where you can message anything you want, You can talk about how cute Chris is and message the Dead Air Pod on Instagram. And
Or
it's
if
going to be handled,
If you have opinions about Alice in Wonderland,
yeah.
just dump it on there. Chris will love it.
Exactly. So thanks, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. And we will see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Sakto, little hot.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Brought to you by Big Baby Studios.